there. What's up, man?
How you doing?
Good, good, good. Hey, the most valuable thing you can give is your time, and I just want to say thank you so much for giving me your time. Happy
Please.
holidays. This is awesome. I can't wait to get into all this Survivor stuff. Oh man,
Looking at the
crazy.
Santa Claus, all the Papa Bears.
Do you ever grow your beard out and do the Santa thing?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, yeah. That's
Now that we
awesome.
have grandchildren, yeah, of course.
Oh my God, how many grandkids do you have?
Well, 2 of my own, and my partner has 4, so 6.
Oh my gosh, you have 6 grandkids? I've always said the whole point of life is to be a grandparent. So congratulations, you figured it
You'll
out.
get you'll get there. You'll
I
get
can't
there.
even figure out where babies come from. I'm a disaster.
First of all,
Oh,
I give you a lot of respect for everything you've done, and I really hope you get on the show. I know it's one of your dreams, and just don't ever stop dreaming.
I appreciate that. I appreciate that. After we get into the recap, I have a story about your season that's really funny, and I can't wait to tell you because it brings me back to the whole thing. Oh man, I can't wait to tell you, and I want to see where you were during that time. But before we get into the episode, so tell us a little bit about your life. Obviously, you got the grandkids now. You can be
Well,
Santa,
yep.
but
I
where are you living? What are you doing?
Well,
All that.
I'm between New York and Florida. I go back and forth. I'm retired now. As you guys know, I was a retired police officer, and I was a nurse at one point, and I'm done with that, and I'm just focusing right now on my family and my friends, and still watching Survivor, still going to events and seeing people, and I still fan out. I mean, um, I got to meet amazing people like Sandra and Fair Play and all those people. I mean, the behind the scenes, these are awesome people. They really are beautiful people, and like people like you think like Russell and them. I like Russell. Behind the scenes, he's a real nice person. I mean, to me, he was. I mean,
Yeah.
and people like that. Micaiah is a big, I'm still in touch with Micaiah. She's an awesome, she's doing well. She's in Florida. And I'm very close with Christine. Christine from my season. She's
Yeah.
only a few towns over. I get to see and talk to her over the years. And I'm also friends with Stacy. And believe it or not, it's also Semhar.
Oh yeah.
Semhar's a beautiful human. To this day, she should not have been voted off first.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Honestly, it should have been John Cochran.
I was
And
just gonna
it's
say you've named every name so far except Cochran. How do you
No,
feel about him?
no, it's nothing against him. It's just he um he was very smart, and I saw that, and I told everybody in my tribe, we got to get Cochran. We got to get Cochran. He's gonna turn on you. I literally told them he's going to turn on you, and I think even Whitney, a few episodes after me, turned around and told him I voted out 3 good people, and basically he signed their, you
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
unfortunately, and I give him credit because he went back and he won, and he deserved to win. He
Yeah.
really did. How I feel about that, whoever wins deserves to win. It's it's very, very hard. People think it's you starve. They don't give you anything. And I mean, whatever the rice. If I remember, we didn't even have rice. We had to get fish, and thank God, even Ozzy was a good fisherman, and he would bring fish for us. And at one point, it was like I think it's like probably like day 6 or day 7, I think it was. He only found like a fish this big, and all of us were still there at that point. I think no, it was I think Semhar was gone. I'm not really sure, but we all had to eat a fish this big. And you know what's really funny, Greg? I had a little bite like that, and to me, it was like I thanked God for it.
It was the
It's a
best
really
fish you ever
weird.
had, right?
It's like weird. Like you thank God for
For
the
that little
littlest
fish.
thing.
For
But
that
it's
little minnow.
yeah. I always tell everybody it's the best experience. If you can get on, it's not the easiest thing to, as you know,
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
not the easiest thing to get on. I beat out 25,000 people by
Whew.
not because, I'm the most handsome man or the smartest man or whatever. It was when you look at it, it's like a map, and they connect people when they're doing their casting. So when they're looking for a certain type of people, that's how they did it. I think I would have done better on the other tribe,
Oh
to
yeah.
be honest with you. And I also have another secret for you. I wasn't supposed to be on Survivor South Pacific.
Really?
No, I was supposed to be on Survivor with it was the older group against the younger group. I forgot that was 21, I think it was, or 20.
Yeah. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
and I was beat out in the not the finals, but when they were making the selections, I who was it?
Yeah. Who took your spot? Because they typecast, right?
Yeah, it was either God rest his soul, Dan, because he passed away. I think Dan passed away.
Oh, sorry.
Um, the real estate guy,
Yeah.
it was either him or the other one. Oh Lord, he'll kill me for forgetting his name. Oh my God, he has grayish hair. Oh Lord, I forgot his name, but I'm actually friends with him on Facebook. He'll kill
Yeah.
me. But
Give me.
once I saw them, and okay, this is how it worked.
You knew.
I received a phone call. Oh, listen, my name is Mark Anthony at the time. I use Papa Bear now, but Mark Anthony. Go listen, Mark. Unfortunately, we decided to go with someone else.
Oh,
And I was
dagger.
like, well, yeah,
Dagger.
yeah, I almost cried, to be honest with you.
Oh,
And the ironic part was, nobody's gonna believe this. In the gym that I was working out, it was Dan.
really?
A million gyms around the world.
What are the odds?
He was there working out to get prepared to go on the show. And
Wow.
he did. And I know I recently I heard he passed away, the poor thing.
I didn't
He
know
did.
that. Yeah,
Yeah.
sorry to hear that.
Yeah, he's the real estate guy.
Yeah.
Remember the
Yeah.
little guy? Yeah,
Yeah.
he passed away this year.
Oh, wow.
Oh, God rest his soul. Yeah. I never met him. I met other
Wow.
people on his season. I think I would have done better on that season because they were all old. I mean, let's get real. I was the oldest guy with all 20-year-olds.
Well, now you got to be, if you're 40, you're old. Everybody on this season is 28 years old. Every one of them. It's like, I'm
I
the old person on this season.
Exactly, but you know what? I think they're gonna turn on that now. There's a whole big thing going on now with people who quit and people, they're looking for. I liked it when it was older, younger, black, white, Asian, everybody. It was a little bit of it was a little salt of
Yeah.
everybody,
Yeah.
and it's just better. And then
Yeah.
they were starting to turn a few seasons. They were after me. They were like a lot of blondes, a lot of beautiful people.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, that's nice to look at. But one season, there was so many blondes, I got confused on who was who. There
Yeah.
was
Yeah.
like 6 or 7 blonde females.
Yeah.
I
And they
didn't
were
know
all
who.
blonde. They were all named Kelly. Kelly,
Yeah.
the blonde Kelly with the short hair? No, the tall Kelly with the blonde short hair. It's like,
Oh my
what?
God, did you not love Kelly this year?
Yeah.
Kelly was awesome. The girl that's not girl, but the woman that's in Manhattan. She's a critical care
A
nurse.
nurse. Yeah. I saw that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
oh my god, they screwed us so bad, but
Yeah. Yeah.
they had to do it. I really wanted her to win, I do. And Jake, I am a Jake fan. Oh my god,
Oh,
how
we'll
could
get
you
into
not love
that.
this guy?
I felt so horrible for him this entire game, and then finally this episode, he gets that immunity idol. I could not have been happier. I thought, finally,
I give
he's
him credit.
playing.
I give him a lot of credit because I would have been probably paranoid and played the idol. He held
Yeah,
on to it. He held
yeah.
on. And
He's an
he can
attorney.
only
He should be on paper a pretty smart guy. He just has had a
he is.
bad draw this whole time.
Well,
Uh,
the whole concept is I tried out so long to get on the show. And now I'm in a situation where I'm getting voted out early, and I'm like, how in God's name is this even possible? It's because the people you're with.
yeah,
And even the one who confused me, Jim, I would not believe he did that to me. He turned it on me.
yeah.
And it wasn't going to be me, it was going to be one of the other ladies. And he switched it. And I was like, how is that even possible? We had a big fight. I don't know if you knew it.
No, I was gonna say,
Huge
how did you
fight. It
how
was
did you
I
like?
heard him. I was behind a tree and I heard him talking about me.
Oh no.
And he was like somebody I trusted.
Oh
So, but we got to have peace, and I mean, he's a good, not good friend. He's a good Facebook friend, I should say.
yeah,
I follow his life through Facebook. He follows what we say. How is each other doing? So I have no hard regrets against him at all. He is a good guy, but it's like everything else. You're fighting to survive.
Yeah.
I didn't have any um bad people with me, just people trying to play the game.
Yeah.
They weren't evil people at all, and I know throughout the seasons there was problematic people, like people you just want to be away from.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like with the other tribe, as far as I know, excuse me, they were Coach and what the hell is that kid's name? Russell
Brandon.
Brandon Brandon, believe it or not, is very religious. He
Yeah.
was. I don't
Yeah.
know. So Coach zeroed in on that. So, you know, and they did him nasty too, Brandon. They
Yeah.
took his immunity idol.
Yeah.
So when he went back the second time, I had Brandon years about like a year after the show was over. He came to my house. He knew my family.
Oh
Uh,
wow.
but he went off the radar. So he stopped all social media.
Yeah.
Every now and then I'll text or I'll email or Facebook Russell, how's he doing? Blah blah blah. He'll say, oh, he's doing good, and that's it.
Yeah. My story that I want to tell you later is actually about Brandon, but I'll wait until we're done talking about the recap because it's a crazy one for sure, for sure. Um,
Yeah,
well, you want to get into the recap of this episode, and then
I
we'll.
do. Oh my
All
God,
right. So
am I allowed to say who got voted off?
yeah, yeah, yeah. So
Uh, could you imagine it was Drew? He
not
wasn't. He got
not
a little
originally.
pompous. He got a little pompous a little bit.
And he's been like that for a few episodes, but this episode, it was almost like the editors were setting him up for failure because every thing he said, it was like, "Oh, this is going to come back to bite you. This is going to come back to bite you." And
Yeah, I didn't like what he did. I don't like when he said to Julie about It's like, in other words,
the
he
limbo,
lowered her. He
yeah,
like degraded her a little bit. And I didn't
yeah,
like that. I didn't
yeah,
like that
he,
because
yeah,
yeah, she's
he was,
another one though. She keeps surviving the hits.
yeah, yeah. I could make that same argument for Jake too. He survived quite a few. I wonder who has the most amount of votes. What's up, Sebastian? I wonder who has the most amount of votes like and still like made it to like the final three because truthfully I think they're all crazy if they don't bring Jake to the final three. I mean, I can't imagine unless he pulls off some insane, the next two tribals basically, right? Because the next episode's it. There'll be what, two eliminations and then the final three. So I don't know what he thinks he's gonna do because he's gonna take credit for this Drew vote, but so is D. You know what I mean? There's a bunch of people who are going to take credit for this Drew vote. So really, I don't.
It's people gonna. I have to say this. Isn't Dee beautiful though? I mean,
She is beautiful.
literally
Yeah,
a beautiful woman. I'm like, this lady could be like model material. I'm like, she is such a beautiful lady. I like how she thinks. She's
yeah.
smart,
She's
and
playing.
yeah, and it'd be really hard for me not to vote her the winner.
Well, she's got the resume so far. The only thing that could have held her up is this episode. If she would have told Austin, "Look, we're going for Drew," I think he would have played because you saw he played. Austin played his idol for himself when just because it was no good after six, so he either had to use it or lose it kind of thing.
What happened to Drew's thing? Remember Drew, the thing that he could leave the tribal? What happened to that?
Oh, that's right. They didn't even mention that. Holy crap. It might be only good down to a certain amount. That's one thing I don't like about this season. Under their name, you know how it used to say like Papa Bear, retired officer. And it would maybe say your age. I wish it would say their name and like how many advantages and idols and stuff they have
Hey, you
because
know what? That's a real good
I
thing.
because
But
I
they used to
forgot
do that.
about that.
Remember? They used to write down idol and stuff like that.
They have before, yeah, but I totally forgot about. I absolutely forgot about that. It was I can't remember what it was called, but you could
That was
just
the
leave.
weirdest. That was the weirdest one.
You could just walk away from tribal and you didn't. Yeah, I wonder. Oh man, that's crazy. Or wait, 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 wait. Did Drew have that or did Austin have that?
No, Austin had the idol. He was part of the three. You remember each one and what as each person's getting. There's three people had the idol or a part of the idol, and as each person gets voted off, the idol becomes strong.
The
So the
amulet,
other
yeah.
two people got vote amplet. So the other two left. So his became an idol. So it had nothing.
Huh.
So it was a different advantage. Some of the
Wow.
people down I was talking about that now. Some of the people
Papa Bear, in the comments here, we've got Robin. Say hi to Robin. She runs the largest Facebook fan page on about Survivor.
Hey,
And
Robin.
if you haven't
Bear
joined that,
hugs.
you got to join that group. It's a great group. And then my friend Sherry, she said that's what I was thinking. Um,
Well, Sherry, I want to say hello to everybody. I always say a big bear hug to everybody. I put my videos of me and my dog. I don't know if you ever watch me and my dog.
yeah, yeah,
We're always kissing, me and
yeah,
Blanchy girl.
yeah.
Um, but to get back to Survivor, when I'll give you something. When he says, "Come over here," he's gonna put out your torch. He makes sure, Jeff. He makes sure you feel it.
Oh
He
yeah,
really does. He looks straight in your eyes.
huh?
And he went like, "Papa Bear, the tribe has spoken."
Oh, I
And I was
saw.
like, but you felt like the chills, and he goes, "You gotta, what do you say? You could leave now," or something like that.
Ah,
And I walked into the jungle. Wait, I gotta tell you this. I walked down the stairs, if you can look at it. I walked down the stairs, and I heard Jeff say to them something like, "You better have made the right decision."
yeah.
And
Oh,
they were like, "Holy shit." And I walked into the jungle. I was all by myself. Talk about poop in your pants. Not
wow.
literally, but so scared. And all of a sudden they stop you and they put a blindfold on me
What?
because they drove me to Redemption Island. I had to go to Redemption Island. And that's
Oh,
when I winded up meeting Christine. And we had to sleep back to back. We slept on like a big box,
yeah.
and we slept back to back because the animals were in the distance, and we had to make sure nothing came at us.
Oh my
So
god.
it was crazy. It was insane.
Yeah.
And how can you sleep? But me and her, we were up all night hearing. "Ga, ga, 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 ga." I was like, "What God is that?"
Do you know what it
And
was? What animals were out there?
it was probably the crew.
Oh, it was
No, but
special effects. They were just
yeah, I
pumping
was like,
sounds
"This is
out.
like what is this, like the Hunger Games?" I was like,
Yeah.
"What is this?"
Wow.
But it
Wow.
was I really became close to her that night.
Yeah,
And
literally.
Lord, let me tell you something, guys. You not me and Chris, well, everybody. You stink so bad that you don't smell anybody anymore. That's what the weird part is.
Wow.
You smell so, so, so bad. 'Cause y I mean, for me, I was technically there 16 days. Even though I've got voted out, no, I had to stay to 10. People don't realize we're there a week before,
Yeah.
and we're not allowed to talk to other people. They assign you. It's so weird. They assign you babysitters. So each
Yeah.
person has like a babysitter where you're not allowed to talk, make eye contact. If you go to the bathroom, somebody comes with you because you cannot form an alliance
Before the game starts. Yeah.
before the game. Isn't
Wow.
that crazy? People don't realize that.
There's so much
It's
behind
so
the scenes that I still want to know where everybody uses the restroom. You know that.
it's I you know what I did? I built my own toilet and I didn't tell anybody.
So that way
Screw
only
them.
you had
And
you had
I
your own.
got every time I don't believe in aqua dumps. It's disgusting. And why is we're drinking and eating the fish from there.
Yeah.
I mean, yes, people do whatever they're gonna do, but for the love of Jesus, we're gonna eat the fish.
Holy moly.
So the answer
Um.
to your question is you poop on the beach. It's
Yeah.
disgusting.
And then you
It's
just bury it
disgusting.
like a cat, basically.
Oh, yeah, but to be honest with you, so I was at the game area for 10 days. I went to the bathroom once
Oh, really?
because you're not eating at all,
Oh, I
nothing.
didn't think about that. Yeah.
And at one point, my urine was almost black,
Oh
so
God.
the doctor saw she goes, "You're dehydrating, you need to drink more." They're there, the doctors are there. So
Yeah.
she told me, "You need to drink," she goes, "You got to drink water." And the water is so disgusting, I almost wanted to vomit. The
Is it
water
back? Did you have
tastes
to boil your water back then?
absolutely.
Yeah.
And you also have to burn, sticks to clean your teeth. And
Huh.
one of the ladies from the season before us did not do that, and her teeth had all bugs in it.
Wow.
So that's why they taught us what to do. You have a
Huh.
survivor school. Survivor school is about 2 hours, and they sit down. They tell you what not to eat, what to eat. Be
Huh.
careful of this. You're not allowed to do this. You have to be careful of that.
Wow.
Yeah, because there's certain things. Don't forget, you're in another country too, so
Yeah.
you have to be very careful about respecting, and you have to be careful because you have to follow the rules of the land still.
Wow. Huh. So do you appreciate the fact that they always do it in the same place now, or do you
No,
think you
no,
you
I
want to
was
see him
there.
travel again?
I said, mine was Samoa, but we had to go to Fiji for our trip. So I was at Fiji, even though it's absolutely gorgeous. It really is beautiful. I always loved the different areas. You learned about it. It was a teaching. So you had a little bit of teaching every time Survivor came on. Now it's what are you learning really?
Yeah.
Really,
Huh.
you see, it's good for them because all the props are there, all the crew knows where they go, the hotels are there, and I'm sure they get a discount or whatever. I'm sure, whatever. But after a while, like who was it? I think it was Mike from a few seasons back. He's the one that took away Survivor. Now it's Survivor number. Survivor 45, Survivor 46, Survivor 47, because it used to be Survivor South Pacific, Survivor
Yeah.
this, Survivor that. So Jeff, because Jeff is in control of everything. You know that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Jeff auditions us, believe it or not. You'll
Yeah.
It's amazing. I want to hear about my audition. Oh my god.
Oh, yes, absolutely.
Oh my god, it's hysterical. So anyway, you saw my
Yeah.
video, right?
Yeah.
So what happened was, you get the call, they let you come in, you go to Hollywood or Santa Monica, and you go into a hotel room. Again, you're locked in your room, and 5 days you're in the room, and you want to make it to day five because if you make it to day five, there's a good chance you're going to get on the show. Because what happens is, as each day goes by, more and more people go home. You don't
Wow.
want to go home. You don't want to go home.
Yeah.
So
Do they pay for your bills back home while you're gone, or give you a stipend or anything?
no,
Because what if you're
no,
missing work or family or so? You know what I mean?
you're on
Tough
your own.
crap.
Mm.
Huh.
But who cares? It's
Yeah.
Survivor.
Yeah. Yeah.
So what happened was, you first see the casting agent, Lynn Spielman, but she's not there anymore. She is
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah.
Very sweet lady, very sweet. And then she picks people that she likes, and then you go meet Jeff and Mark Burnett. Mark Burnett. Oh my God, Mark Burnett. He's very stoic, very like,
I
and
met
then
him
Jeff's
one
like,
time.
yeah. So I walk in, I fell over the chair. And Jeff goes, "Oh my God." I mean, literally like an asshole. I fell on the, excuse me. I
You're fine.
fell.
You're fine.
I picked up and I sat down. Jeff was like, "Oh my God, are you okay? Are you okay?" And I went like this. I went, "Oh my God, that's my first tribal question." And for some reason, he thought that was funny, and that sealed. That's the like
You just knew that was the moment.
yep.
Yeah.
I knew that was
Wow.
the moment because after my interview with them, all the other guys that looked like me were gone.
Really.
Mhm. There was like 5 or
Wow.
6 guys looked like me. The next
Wow.
after that was that then you go for a medical, you go for a psychological. They interviewed every single person from kindergarten. They know more about your life than you knew about your life. Let me
That's
tell you, that
crazy.
CBS is a big thing. You have a contract like this, or even more like that, and, you the last what happened was I was in a group of 50 people, they put you in a circle. And in my circle was Jim, who was on my season. It
Yeah.
was
Yeah.
Colton.
Yes.
Colton sat next to me. It was Jay Barra. Jay. Um, it was a Kim who won. Remember Kim?
Yeah.
Kim was so cute. I mean, I saw her working out in the gym. Very, very cute, and she smiled and everything. I also had Sophie.
Yeah.
You want to hear something about
Let's
Sophia?
hear it. Yeah.
Sophie? Me and Sophie, we were in the Sears contest. and both of us didn't win the contest because as far as I remember, the cowboy won, remember?
Yeah.
And he
Oh,
got
yeah,
on
yeah,
my
yeah.
show, but meanwhile, they liked our videos, and we still got on, me and her, and look, she won.
Yeah, yeah. Crazy.
So, they didn't want that. As far as I know, they wanted Coach or Ozzy to win.
Yeah.
So, because they
How
always have
much how much do they influence the game? Like, I was talking to I think it might have been Robin, actually, I was talking. So, when you're down, if the producers, they're not
I
dumb.
don't know.
They know everything. They kinda know who's leaning towards what, and if they want somebody to stay on, do you think they pick a challenge that favors that person or
I
anything
don't
like
think
that?
they I don't think they do that, but I feel they might, I don't know. I don't know for a fact. I
Yeah.
can't answer those questions because I don't know. All I know is I found the clue to the idol. They didn't show it. I did. So I'm
Ah,
reading it, and Ozzy finds the idol in a tree, up in the air, with thousands of trees,
with no clues?
with no clues.
Wow.
I'm just saying. Uh,
So
one
he
time I
find
woke up.
Huh.
One time I woke up, and I thought it was Semhar's hair in my mouth because you're all on top of each other, and it was friggin' Ozzy. I was like,
Oh.
ugh. Oh, I was like, oh, friggin' Ozzy.
Yeah.
But he's living a different life now. Now I find out he's bisexual. He's out, and
Yeah, I saw he's got an OnlyFans or something like that. I was like, "What in the heck? Where did that come from?" I
and
guess
I
times
think
are
he's
tough.
well to do. But people
Apparently.
say, yeah, people say, he's living his best life, and you know
Uh,
what? More power to you.
yeah, whatever makes you happy, you know?
You know, like I can't say, he was a challenge beast, so I can't say he didn't find the idol. When you don't know, all I know is I didn't, and I would have loved to have find it at that moment.
Yeah, yeah.
But it
Huh.
is what it is. That's why it's a game.
Yeah, yeah. So speaking of games, this whole showmance between D and Austin. I can't believe they didn't show that earlier in this season, and they waited just until like the last episode to really show us. And this episode, it was hot and heavy. They got their hands on each other's legs. Katura's like looking like that. I can't believe her instinct wasn't like, we got to break these two up. It's like, how can you two? I mean, if they're cuddling at night and all that, like, at what point do the rest of the tribe members go, this ain't happening? But apparently,
Right.
it seems like everybody's okay with it. It's like, I guess this showmance thing isn't a bad thing
I
after
don't
all.
think anybody caught it except.
Katura,
Mhm. I think
really?
that's how I feel because you know what's really funny? Whitney and Keith, they developed a relationship, and I knew because they built a separate hut. Because
Ah,
everybody was together in one area, and all of a sudden I turn around, they're in their own separate hut next door, like a condo right next door. I'm like, what the hell is this?
yeah,
But
yeah.
I didn't know it at the time. You kind of knew,
Yeah, I
but
mean, if you're cuddling with somebody at night, there's a good chance that you're
that's
a
how
little.
people know. Yeah, they all started. And that freaking girl, oh my lord, what's her name? The lady that was in my class. She was a Miss America. She was supposed to go home, and all of a sudden, now it's me. And I'm like, who
Oh,
did I
no.
wrong? Who did I not cuddle with? One time I was laying by the fire at night at like 2 o'clock in the morning, 3 o'clock in the morning, whatever it was. And um, what's her name? Oh God, I'm forgetting all their names. Um, she was with John Cochran with the second game. She's the Mormon lady.
Oh, Dawn?
Dawn, Dawn,
Yeah.
she'll kill me 'cause she's French. She'll kill me. Um, she threw wood on the fire, and she didn't know it was me, and I went on fire. And matter of fact, it was Ozzy who's getting me, shutting me off. And, and she's like, "Oh my God, I'm sorry." I said,
Oh
"It's not
my
helping me,
god.
honey. I'm on fire." But yeah, it was. I wish everybody would have those experience, not that experience, but
Yeah,
real fun experiences, especially people like yourself who really know the game, who want to do the game. And like Brandon came up to me when he was like young, 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 young face. I forgot. I have a picture on my Facebook.
I saw
I'm
that,
going to
yeah.
be on Survivor. I'm going to be on Survivor. And I'm like, you know what? Good for you. And all of a sudden he texts me, Guess what? I'm on Survivor. I'm like,
Crazy,
how the
right?
hell did that happen?
Yeah.
I feel like what happened with that? I feel like he
I
tried, but
yeah, he texted me the other day because we have a mutual friend that he was in their wedding, so that was my pick for this season. That's who I wanted to win, and he said he trained, and the editing would lead us to believe he didn't, but his definition of training, your definition, mine are all different, right?
right.
And that's fair, but I told him, I said, you, even though you were voted off second, Brandon Donlin, you were one of the most memorable. I mean, let's face it. Out of six,
Oh yeah,
all these 16 people or 18, what is it? 16, 18 people every season. You're going to have people you forget. Brando was forgettable. Sabaya, unfortunately, was forgettable. Like we have some people that were forgettable. Brandon was not forgettable. And I said, Brandon, I said, what you need to do. They made you look so weak. Is flip the script. Your survivor story is just being told. It hasn't been written. I said, what you need to do is go find a gym and you need to get absolutely just jacked out of your
that's
mind,
it.
take an MMA fight, do the exact opposite,
Yep,
flip the script. Because who wouldn't want to see him play again as this
exactly.
giant Jonathan Goliath character that, took an MMA fight? He went from soft to just a total badass,
But does
I
he
would
want to
love to
go?
see that.
Does he want to do that again?
Well, I'll tell you what, if that didn't light a fire under him, nothing will. He's such a student of the game. He gave like the fans in the community hope that, oh my God, they're actually casting
I
fans.
know.
Because how many seasons did they do fans versus favorites, and the people that were fans never even watched the show? It was a bunch of bullcrap. But I think, as much as I would like to think they picked him because he was like a hardcore fan, I think it was more based on he's kind of a neurotic. I don't know how to say that without sounding like I'm being mean, but he's just got kind of a neurotic kind of
And
personality.
he's anxious, took over.
Anxious, yes, yeah, that's probably a
Whatever you have in you becomes 10 times worse out there
oh,
because
I believe.
nobody's there to help you. I mean, look at Hannah. I mean,
Oh, yeah,
I was not ready for that. Like,
yeah,
I don't know what, and she just, and then the other one, the school principal, he
Sean,
gave up.
yeah,
Yeah, he just gave up, and I'm like,
yeah,
whoa. And I know Jeff hates that
yeah,
with
yeah.
passion, because he chose you, and now you basically threw it in his face. So,
I read in an article that Sean, the real thing behind that was he thought he was going home, and he wanted the narrative to be, oh, he was coming home so he could see his, I think, husband or something like that.
right,
So he actually, as well as luck was having it, he was not going home, but he thought he was, so he wanted to change the narrative last second. And he just called it wrong. It's kind of like if you knew you were going home and you were going to save face and be like, well, since
right,
I know I'm going home anyway, I'll just quit and say that I miss my kids or something. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
but
No, I
you
rather
know,
like it is
who
what it
knows?
is.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
but it hurts though when they vote you off.
Oh, I'm sure.
It's like they don't want to play with me anymore. They hate me. You know what I mean? And then it's not that they. It's just somebody had to go home in my tribe. Somebody.
Yeah.
So I just think it would have been different if Cochran went home first. You know what I mean? Then it would have
Well,
been
yeah,
different because
yeah,
it wasn't fair that they did that to her, to Semhar. I really do. I really, really believe that. That's
yeah,
true. That was a real. It was almost meanish in a mean
yeah,
way.
yeah,
But that's how Survivor. My tribe was a little strange.
yeah. Yeah, yeah. I remember. I remember because your season and your just era in general was my favorite season. Um, it went because that was when the idols were being introduced. Russell was
Mm.
finding them with no clues, and truthfully, like seasons like I don't know, like 20 through the next few were all my favorite seasons. And part of that might be just because I got to watch them with my grandma, and that was when I also walked across America the first time, and so it was just that very near and dear to me. And that was fun.
Did you ever get to Hollywood, Santa Monica?
Okay, so I was gonna save this until the end of when we were done here, but I'm gonna tell you now the Brandon story and all that fun stuff. So, it so okay, so starting from the beginning, summer of 2005, I was walking around the middle school track with my best friend Megan, and I asked her, I said, "What's the craziest thing I could do to get on Survivor?" And she said, "Oh, just drop off your tape, walk there." And I was like, "Yeah, right. Only an idiot would do that. It was just a joke." Unfortunately, October 28th, 2006, she passed away. She was only 19. She had a brain aneurysm. Just one of
Sorry.
those things in life that's not supposed to happen. It happened. So it took me 3 years to work up the courage. And I had a good six-figure career in real estate. I had, I had all my dream cars. I had a Hummer, a Supra, a lowrider because I was so gangster. But like at the end of the day, I can buy another Hummer. I can buy another house. I can't buy another Papa Bear. I can't buy another Megan. So I stopped living so much for materialistic things, and I started living for memories and experiences. And so I gave up everything in my life, made peace with God. And April of '09 is when I started walking from right here in Cincinnati to Santa Monica. That was the PO box on the VHS tape thing that you're supposed to send in. So so I'm walking to the PO box. I get to around Chino, California, day 70ish, something like that. And I get a call from Lynn Spillman saying, "Hey, I want to meet you." And I was like, "Oh my God, like this is really happening. This is really happening." I could not have been happier. But the whole trip, I had no expectations. So I couldn't have been let down because I didn't have expectations, right? But now in my head, I'm going, "Oh my God!" Like she told me to make sure that no film crews were following me because if they were following me, then they wouldn't be able to use the footage. I'm like, "Oh my God, she wants footage of me," and I'm like, "I'm gonna be on the show. I'm gonna be on the show." Like at this point, I went from no expectations to expecting to get on the show. So I get to Studio City, Radford, which is no longer, they sold that studio. So it's no longer, they don't do anything with it. And Lynn has a cameraman meet me at the gate, and he follows me walking in and follows me meeting her. And she gives me some balloons and a buff and just stuff like that. And
Wow.
the next day she says, "Hey, we're going to give you a tour of the lot, and then the next day tomorrow I'm going to call you." I was like, "All right, I'll still be in town." So she calls me, and we talked for about 2 hours. And she was trying so hard to like see, like, my get me angry and piss me off and stuff. So she would say dumb things like, "Well, there's models in LA that only make 70,000 a year, so we feel bad for them," and just dumb stuff like that. But then she would go hard. She was like, "Greg, the only reason I'm giving you this interview is because Megan died." Like cold, like that's cold as hell. And I was so worried about what the news crews were going to say back in Cincinnati because I had all these interviews lined up that like I just let her walk all over me. And Russell Hantz, so I go back home. So that she tells me, she says, "Greg, you're too nice, you're not greedy enough, and you don't have what it takes to outwit anyone." Those words haunted me, absolutely haunted me. So I go back home to Cincinnati. As luck would have it, all my mortgages were fixed rate 7%. They adjusted them to 17% while I was gone. So I ended up foreclosing on all my houses, losing everything. I had to start back over again. And oh God, it was brutal. So during this period, Brandon Hance, who is on Survivor, he hears about me walking across America. So he reaches out to me and he's like, "Hey, I'm sorry how they did you, and but I would like you to come to the live finale with me." And I was like,
That
"Oh,
was nice.
I was like, that'd be amazing. That'd be so amazing." So he invites me out, and I at the finale, I see Lynn, and I say, "Hey, Lynn, how you doing?" And she goes, like, and I was like, Remember me, Greg?" And she's like, I was like, "I walked to you. I walked across America to give you my VHS tape. You don't remember me?" She goes, "Oh, Greg, how are you doing?" And I was like, "Good." I was like, "Lynn, when are you gonna put me on?" And she was like, "Greg, everyone has a story like yours." And I was like, "Bullshit, Lynn." I was like, "Nobody has a story like mine, and they never will." And I was so pissed off that I walked out of Studio City, walked off of the live set, and I go outside. There was like a smoking section or whatever, and I called my friend Megan that passed away, her mom Jen, and I said, "Jen, you'll never believe this." She told me that like everyone has a story like mine. I was like, "I'm not going back in there." I was like, "Screw this place." Like I was so pissed off. And she was like, "Greg, go back in there. At least watch the live finale." So I go back in there, and this is your season. And I'm like so like
Survivor.
yeah, so I'm like so pissed off, like so angry, and I'm like I can't even enjoy myself. I don't even want to be there. And as I'm walking down the steps, the show's over and everything, someone taps me on my shoulder, and I look back, and Lynn says, "I just want to say bye." And I was like, I didn't even say one word to her. I just kept walking. Wouldn't you know it? She ignores me for 2 years. All I had to do is walk away from her, not say two words to her. She messages me on Facebook, "Greg, I want you to send me another tape." It's like, really? So all I have to do is be pissed off and angry, and now all of a sudden you want to talk to me again? So then I send her the tape, a second tape, and it gets returned to sender. It comes back to me, RTS, return to sender. I'm like, what the hell? So then I'm like, well, she's not responding. I can't figure out how to get a hold of her. And I was like, well, I think her husband is a she said something about he was like a CBS News anchor or something like that. So I
You're
sent
good.
the tape to him to give to her. Well, then I get a call from her saying, Greg, if you pull a stunt like that again, we'll have you prosecuted to the full extent of the law. I was like, you're the one that told me to send this to you, and it got returned to sender. So what am I supposed to do, Lynn? And so I didn't know if she was being serious or if she was just again trying to play, like trying to get a reaction out of me. But that time it worked because I was pissed. At this point, I was absolutely pissed. So I didn't talk to her for a few years, and then there was Omar who's always doing auctions for Survivor. He had done like a phone call.
Um,
Uh,
was Omar on the show?
no, 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 no. He does like charity events and stuff like that.
Oh, okay.
Um, he did a phone. He auctioned off like a 15-minute phone call with Lynn Spillman, and I was like, oh, I will sell my soul for this phone call. Like I
No.
need to have a word with her. So I did. I literally I didn't have any money at the time. I had filed bankruptcy and all that. And my grandma from this is so like oh god, my grandma had passed. Not the one that I watched Survivor with you with. My other grandma. She had passed away, and she had left us these little bonds that were like they had fully matured after I don't know 20, 15 years, 20 years, 30 years, whatever they were for. I don't remember. And so I held on to those, and I was like, these are supposed to be for an emergency. And I had maybe like $1,000 worth of these bonds that my grandma gave me. I never told anybody this story, by the way. You're the first person to get to hear this.
And
And
everybody else now.
yeah, yeah, yeah. And so I said, I was like, you know what? Like, I have to. So I won the auction with the money that my grandma had set aside for me from when I was a baby that had matured. Those bonds had matured. And so I won the auction. It was like 1,000 or maybe $1,200. Maybe it was 1,500. I don't remember at this point for this phone call with Lynn. So she messages me and says, hey, when can we set up this phone call? I said, Lynn, I said, if you're calling me because of some BS charity, I said, don't waste your time. And she never did call me. So I all that money I spent on those, my grandma's baby money that she gave me went to charity, I guess, which is a good cause. But I never got anything out of it personally, at least.
Yeah, she recently, it was a few years back, she's no longer the casting
Yeah,
agent.
yeah. So fast forward to the time frame you're talking about. A friend of mine. At this point, I've done like 20 reality. No, no. I probably did from let me back up a little bit. From like '04 to like no, no, no. That's not right. From 2011 to like 2014 or 15, I did like 10 reality shows. And Lynn, somebody from Lynn's office reached out to me and said, Greg, if you want to be on Survivor, stop doing these stupid reality shows. I was like, well, when I was out at the live finale with Brandon Hance, Russell said that I had a big personality for TV, and Russell Hance is like, Greg, you should do other reality shows, and they don't. And I said, well, I don't want to risk my chance getting on Survivor, and he was like, no, 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 they don't care. Like you should just like you should do these other shows. So I did. And then this casting director tells me I shouldn't. And I said, well, Russell said that they don't care if you do other shows. And she was like, Russell don't know what he's talking about. I was like, well, at this point, I'm actually enjoying doing reality shows. And they're like, well, you can do extra work like on movies and stuff like that. And I was like, all right. So at this point, fast forward to like 2019, I had done like 80 or 90 movies and reality shows total, something like
Good.
that. And I was really enjoying that. But at the end of the day, I still needed closure to this whole Survivor thing. So during the pandemic, everybody's locked up, pent up, blah, blah, blah. But prior to that, I was an elected official here in Coleraine. So Colerane's not a city, so we don't have a mayor. We have trustees, and the trustees are the equivalent to a mayor. So essentially, I was the mayor of my town. And I could have easily won re-election. I was doing very well. I was popular with my constituents. I could have easily won. But I decided not to rerun so that I could walk across America again because they say you're only an idiot if you do the same thing and you expect a different result. But I never got anything in life without persistence. So I said, okay, I gave up again. 2021, I'm like, I'm going to walk instead of dropping off my VHS tape this time because they don't do that anymore. I said, I'm going to walk to the live finale. And that's the only time I know where Jeff Probst's going to be. I'm not going to Google him. I don't care how many kids he has or if he's married and all that. I don't care. I just know that he's going to be at this live finale, right? Well, as luck would have it, there was no live finale because of COVID. That was the first time they did that. But I didn't know that. So here I am um, I never, they say you're only an idiot if you do the same thing, expect a different result. But again, I never got anything in life without persistence. So I give up everything again. I start walking from Cincinnati to the live finale for season 41, and I make it 82 days to Arizona because I'm not 25 anymore. I was a lot slower. I was only walking like 20 miles a day instead of walking 30 miles a day. And I'm around Flagstaff, that area, and an officer pulls me over and says, "Okay, you've got two choices. You can either go to jail because it's illegal to walk on the highway, or I'll take you to a Greyhound. You can get the hell out of my jurisdiction." And I'm like, "What? Like, I don't like either of these options at this point, right?" So I listened to the officer against my better judgment. She takes me to a Greyhound, and I'm going to get on it just to get out of her jurisdiction, pick up where I left off because I don't want to cheat. And the freaking bus driver passes out at 70-mile an hour. We fly off of the highway into a forest, and the first tree we snapped it right in half, and it makes the whole bus go on its side. It slams us all against the window, and then the next tree I see coming, I put my hands up, and I was like, oh crap, like I don't want to crisscross my hands because then when my head hits my wrist, I'm going to break my wrist. And keep in mind, 70-mile an hour at about 1,000 feet, I had about 7 seconds for all that to think about all this. And I was like, no, 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 no. I was like, I don't want to break my wrist. So then I went like this. And then I was like, oh, wait a minute. Like, if you're gonna to survive a crash, you have to pretend like you're drunk because drunk people survive crashes. This is all going through my head in 7 seconds. And so I slouched down in my chair to get ready for to die. And I was like, wait a minute. I looked up and I see this next tree coming, and there's a video of all this. And I see the next tree coming right at me. And I'm like, oh, I don't want to watch myself die. So I just closed my eyes and I just waited to die. And when we hit the next thing we hit was actually a boulder, and it turned the bus almost like a 90. And then we hit another tree, and all the branches came through the windshield, barely missed the driver's head. How that guy didn't die is beyond me. And at this point, we're so far off in the forest, nobody can find us. Nobody's cell phones are working. So I'm in the best shape out of everybody. Almost everybody on that bus was going to or from rehab. And like, it's amazing how honest people get with you when they share like a near death experience. Like the guy next to me, he was like, he was going to Vegas. He was a pimp and he was retrieving one of his hoes. The guy on the other side, he was him and his friend had killed a guy in Phoenix, and they came back and killed his friend as retribution. And so they were going to kill him next. So he was going to Utah in order to start his life again. The kid across from me, he was part of his parents were divorced, and they lived really far apart. So he was on the bus by himself, a little kid. So I took him under my wing and gave him some money and all that stuff. So he at least had something. And I was the thinnest one too on the bus. So even though the most of the impact was on the front, I was able to squeeze out the door, and I start hobbling to the highway to try to flag somebody for help. And 15, it was probably 15 minutes later, the first cop finally finds us. I was one of 9 people to walk away. The other 9 people, I don't know what happened to them. I hope they survived. I really don't know. But like, um, yeah, I had PTSD for like a solid year after that, just having to relive that and the nightmares. And I'm still in a lawsuit with Greyhound. We haven't settled yet, but like, I just need closure. You know what I mean? And I know Lynn is no longer in casting. It's this new guy, Jesse or something like that. And
What
man,
there was another one, Caitlin. I don't know
oh,
if
I don't know.
Caitlin's
I don't know.
him.
I don't know any of those people. I just like, at this point, you know, I know you're supposed to do it the order or whatever, but if there was anyone that should jump the line, if I can be arrogant for a second, it's me. It's like, I don't want to deal with casting. I don't want to go through casting. Just put me right in front of Jeff. I want 5 minutes of his time. If I can't convince Jeff in 5 minutes that there's no such thing as Survivor without me, then it's not meant to be. But for me, sadly, like, closure has been so black or white. And Robin, and I was telling you this, like, it's either I get on the show or the show gets canceled. Well, I don't want the show to get canceled. That's cynical. So I would love to find a happy medium, and I think I kind of did. Even though I feel like the most I could ask of Jeff is to put me on the dream team, which is funny because he mentioned the dream team earlier during that immunity challenge. The dream team.
Um, I
Uh,
now I think there was somebody. I want to say Eric. I want to say his name is Eric. He was. I'm not sure about this. I think he was on the dream team, and then he applied or they saw him and they invited him to come on. So I think once in a while, matter of fact, I want to tell you something funny. Um, when they had the fan versus favorites, one of the girls or the ladies that got on the show, she pulled something like you did. She went to the finale night or she went to casting. They were having the casting in the hotel, and
Wow.
she just said, "Hi, I'm here." I don't recommend that because they'll have you arrested
Yeah.
because they don't play around with that because God forbid nowadays you don't know who's coming in. You got to go through casting. Everybody goes
Yeah.
through casting.
Yep.
Casting, you gotta do it.
Uh,
I know it sucks.
brutal.
It's look, I know it sucks, but
I
everybody,
want.
even the people who were recruited that I know got recruited that came on my season, there was a few recruits, they
Yeah.
still had to go through casting.
Yeah. Yeah, at this point, it's like I don't know what to do. The only thing I can think of now, I would like to pick up where I left off from the bus crash to finish my walk, but there's no live finale, so I'd be walking to nowhere
I
anyway.
don't know about that
Yeah.
because one of the guys that are on my Facebook page said that he's going to California.
Oh, was it Michael Albright, maybe?
Yeah. So I don't know
Yeah.
why he would be doing that
Well, they
unless
he so they still do get-togethers, but
uh
it's not for the live finale.
because they
Um,
don't do live finales. You know why? Look at all the money they spend
I
on live
know.
finales
Yeah.
with the audience, and they have to give us money. The people who are the contestants, they get money for the live finale.
Yeah.
Honestly, so they save all that money. So I can understand that. It's still a money after it's all said and done. It's still a money making thing.
Yeah. Yeah. Yep, I don't know. The only thing I can think of now, and I'm open to ideas if you have any, is um, so for my 40th birthday this past January, I drove across the country 12,000 miles, and I did 40 things for my 40th birthday. And one of the things I did was I made a little sign, and it said, "For my 40th birthday, I want to meet Jeff Probst." And I walked around Studio City just with my sign. I never did hear from him, obviously, but I thought, you know what? I'll just cross out that 0 and put a 1. For my 41st birthday, all I want is to meet Jeff Probst.
What are you saying though in the sign?
I
I
I
want. I want
I
to. Are you writing? I want to be on Survivor.
No, 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 I literally my sign, I
Because if you
still have
keep
it.
saying I want to meet Jeff Probst, he's gonna think you're crazy.
Yeah, well, I can't believe out of all the people I've met in this world, I've never met him. But my sign said, "For my 40th birthday, I wanna meet Jeff Probst." That's all it said,
Yeah,
straight and to the
I would
point.
tell you something. He is a very serious man. This is his business. As you could tell, look what happens when people quit. He flips out.
Yeah.
Um, this is his business, which I agree, and he's going to pick the best people. And the sad part is he might not even know who you are
Yeah. No, I don't
because
think he
it's
does.
not because of
I
you.
don't think Lynn told him. I really don't. I don't think Lynn
Because
said a thing.
right, the only thing you could do is put the TikToks out or get Facebook out, or I mean, someone somewhere is going to see it somewhere.
I would hope
So
so.
I just hope so too for your sake because this is a dream that we all have,
Oh, I
and
want
I wish to
closure.
God everybody could experience it. But the reality is, there's thousands and thousands and
Yeah.
thousands of people, and they have to open it. I feel they should open it up for a group of people, not just one type of person.
Yeah.
There was only Julie and Bruce.
Yeah, there was only 2 people over 28.
And why they attacked, I don't know why they didn't like Bruce. I liked Bruce.
Yeah.
And they
Yeah, they
really did not like him,
yeah.
and
Well, I mean, if you put a group of 28-year-old like-minded people, and then you have one outcast, senior citizen,
hello,
yeah,
hello.
yeah, yeah, they're gonna team up. They're gonna find anything they can to use against them.
And then Jeff
Um,
was like, I remember him call. He goes, "Papa Bear's explosive." I'm like to myself, well, of course. Look at the situation I'm in. I'm
yeah.
with people who are me was even worse. They were like 21, 22.
Oh, yeah.
And the only was it was me. It was me and Dawn. That was it. And
Yeah.
they were. It's funny. They were talking about Dawn behind our back too. They were like, "We're gonna have to eventually get Dawn out because Dawn has like 8 kids or 9 kids. Like that's a lot of kids,
Mm,
and she's everybody's favorite person because Dawn is so lovable. Dawn is really lovable,
Well, so are
except for
you. If
the
you didn't know that, you were
oh,
definitely a
thank
favorite
you,
for sure,
thank you.
for
Yeah,
sure.
well,
I got a
that's my
question.
s that
Oh, sorry. So Robin in the comments here. Thank you for your kind words, Robin. Robin has a Papa Bear question. She says, "I'm amazed that the Survivor players keep the winner's name quiet. I know you have contracts to sign. I assume they scare you with their contract wording. What are your thoughts on that?"
well, look what happened with, it happened with a guy and a lady a few years back, if you remember. They got kicked off the finale and everything because they were telling who was, which was ridiculous. You could lose your prize money. Everybody gets prize money, and they could sue you. And you don't want to go against the lawyers of CBS.
Yeah,
And honestly, as much as you're upset that you didn't win, you want to present a product to everybody else. Is it really fair for me to say the
yeah,
winner when
yeah,
all your friends and your families and thousands of people out there, they love the game? You're going to ruin the game for somebody. I'm not going to do that. You know what
yeah.
I mean? Because you want everybody to enjoy it. Like, I can watch the show right now. I have an idea. Usually, I have an idea who wins. Usually. A few
Do you
years
want to
ago,
give
I
that
was
prediction right now?
no,
No. Okay. Fair enough.
no. I don't want to be wrong. Um,
I never guess it right. The editing is so good that they get
yeah,
me every time.
but how I would if I really wanted to put a name out there, not to say that I know because I don't know,
Okay.
I would say D.
Yeah, she's got the best resume, that's for sure.
She has the best package. She's
Yeah.
smart, and they're doing a story almost like Boston Rob, and
Robin Amber, yeah,
they're doing the same thing. So I wouldn't be surprised if him and her make it to the very end,
yeah.
and either he wins or she wins, one of them two. Because honestly, he also has a good story. He wins a lot of challenges and things like that. Whatever. Um, I just feel like they're gonna try to get off the Julie. I feel like they're gonna turn around and try to get rid of her because so
Yeah.
many people love her. If Julie gets on the finals, she's deadly. She's a lawyer.
Well, nobody knows that though, right? Hasn't she kept
No,
that a secret?
but she's a mother. Like
Yeah.
the mom, like for instance, nobody they would rather
Better not
vote
be
off their
Jake.
father, me, than their mother, Dawn.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
point being is she's so lovable. She is lovable as what they say. Julie is lovable as what they're saying. So I'd be really surprised if Jake pulls for the win and does it.
So I have I posted earlier in Robin's group. I said if Jake wins, I'm not doing these Survivor live recaps all next season. I said I'm done. I'm retiring. But in all seriousness, the year Gabler won, they edited that so well that no one thought he had a chance. And then afterwards, they showed us he was in clear control the whole time, and I was like, this is insane. So with that being said, it actually wouldn't surprise me if Jake won because they can edit this thing however they want, you know?
I'd be happy for him. I would. I would.
I've felt so bad for him this whole season. I'm just glad he found an immunity idol. How he's gonna mess this up, I have no idea. But
Yeah, I
um,
far and away. The only reason is he might not have that many fans on the jury because
yeah,
it really does come down to who's popular. It really does. At
yeah,
the very, very, very end, Dee is very popular. I think people like her. She's empowerment of women. People like
yeah,
that. She's young. She's smart. She's strong. I would vote for her. I
yeah,
would. I
yeah.
absolutely would.
Robin said D has the best resume, or at least compared to Julie. I would agree with that too. I mean, really, Katura doesn't have a resume. Jake so far doesn't have a resume. Um, I I would take
Yeah,
both of them to the final three with me. Really.
Katora. I really would like to have seen her do better. She was like the whole season was the Bruce, the Bruce, the Bruce, the Bruce. When you had so much to do and you were strong and
Yeah,
you could have really made a good resume. You know what I mean?
yeah.
But she focused on Bruce so much, and I felt bad for the female Marine in the very beginning.
Oh,
What was her name? It started with an S, I think.
The female Marine. I got all the yellow tribe on the other paper. Was it
You know,
Emily?
no, the
Oh,
female
Sabaya. Sabaya.
Sabaya, because he quit the next show. He instead of letting he should have quit the episode before, let her stay. It
Yeah.
would have been a whole different thing. And you trust me, I sometimes in the middle of the night or I wake up or I'll take a shower and I'll say, "Oh, snap back in my head. Maybe I should have done this. Or I should have done that." 12 years later, it's still coming. You talk about haunting. It haunts you
Uh,
to but I just make peace with it. It is what it is, and, I got to meet nice people like you and other people around, and, it is what it is. I move on.
well, you certainly inspired a lot of people, along the way, and
I try.
I would love to know if they called again, would you do it? Why or why not?
10 years ago, 5 years ago, I would've. Now, no, 'cause, it does I'm older now. I'm really older. I'm an old and believe it or not, it does take a toll on your body,
Yeah,
and I probably would not have do it now because I have family. It does you don't get to see your family for 7 weeks.
yeah,
When I was doing it. Now, I don't think it's 7 weeks anymore,
nah,
but it was so I would not do it now. Back then, I would've.
yeah.
It's definitely a tough, tough, tough game.
Did
It
they ever call you back to do a returning season or anything like that?
No, I got, a few times I got interviewed by Lynn again, because what happens is Lynn at the time sent out, questionnaires where they were choosing people to come back.
Okay.
So they do it's not like it's so weird. Again, it's how you fit into a puzzle.
Yeah,
Okay, we need somebody like this. Okay, we'll take Papa Bear. Okay, we need somebody this. We'll take Russell again. Or they start teaming up. Okay, we're gonna bring Brandon back, but we're also gonna bring John Cochran, and then we had to bring Dawn back because they had no Dawn, John, which happened. They worked together. Think about it.
yeah,
They know exactly who they bring. Sometimes I wonder, did you bring back John so you knew John was gonna win?
yeah, yeah. I would love one of the questions I would love to ask Jeff Probst is how many times has he successfully predicted the winner of the show from the get go? Because there
Um,
was
I asked that question with we had a casting agent in there. I said to him, "Do you have an idea what you how you gear?" He goes, "No." He goes, "We root for all of you." This is what he said. He was a pretty cool guy. His name was
yeah.
Ken. His name was Ken. He doesn't do it anymore, but I'm friends with him on Facebook still. And he goes,
Your audio just went kind of crazy there. Can you hear me?
"Yep, could you hear me?
Yeah, but it sounds like a tin foil. It sounds completely different than it did before.
Could you hear me now?
Yeah, but it still sounds really different. It sounds like you're almost like on a telephone, whereas before it sounded like a
I
I don't
don't. Could you hear me now?
yeah, it's still weird.
I guess my
Hmm.
time is almost over.
They're
We
trying to cut us off.
all right, so I'm gonna say goodnight, so I'm gonna say goodnight with you.
Yeah, we'll can you come back another time because I want to hear more of these stories and I love talking to you, but when the
You
audio is all kind of messed up, it's like,
no,
I don't
well, hey, listen, whenever you invite me back, I'm here for you.
you're the best. You're the
And I
best.
wanna say, please don't give up. Don't.
Amen.
All right. All right, guys. Thank you so much, everybody.
Thank you, Papa Bear.
Have a good
Good
holiday.
night.
Good night.
Bye.